How the heck are you, everybody? I am Fastidious. Guys, with all the craziness of the anniversary events going on right now, I think Helga has been forgotten. This is going to be the big prize of these 2 weekends of summoning, even though she doesn't even require a single summon to get. She's the new shard summoning event, so let's get right into it. First off, I'm going to explain how a shard summoning event works, then we're going to break down her kit, and then I'm going to show you this right behind me, which is our interactive personal fusion tracker. Huge shout to Maku once again for making this. It is going to be an amazing tool to make sure you get Helga as easily as possible. All right, this is going to be a Helga fusion guide. Let's get into it.
Fastidious.
Fastidious.
Alrighty guys, they added a new thing this time around when it comes to the shard summoning events. There's a whole Assemble Legendary Heroes page, and this thing is so freaking cool. I do wish they had this just one click away. Mark was actually messaging me about this earlier. You know, if they just had a button that would bring you straight here from the home screen, that would be like my singular criticism. But basically, you can just see it in order as it's going to come, just click through everything and get it done. It's not really going to tell you what is coming with like a nice calendar view though, and you're not really going to be able to check it off as you go along. That is where it is very much in comes the personal fusion tracker. So here, look at my shirt's a little see-through. Shout out to the AI green screen. All right, so basically, before I start breaking down Helga, before we go over the calendar, you need to know how a shard summoning event works. I think most of you do, so I'm going to be very, very quick. For Epic Heroes, it is 75 shards or fragments, however you want to think of it. You collect them through different events and Oracle's trials, the tournaments, and when you're with an Epic, you hit 75. With a Legendary, you need 200. Once you have 200 for the Legendary, 75 for the Epic, you can fuse that hero. So very likely you will only get one Helga. Also, as it stands now, there are only 390 available fragments. Obviously, you need 200 to fuse one copy, so you need 400 to fuse two. I do not envision you'll be able to fuse 2 copies, but if we figure out that you can, I will definitely let you know. All right, guys, that is how it works. Oh my god, I love background fight. It's just the smoothest thing in the world. Let's talk about Helga. If you want to see her in action, proper gameplay, I have a full detailed Helga guide. It's got a bunch of views. You can go find it. Search Watcher of Realms Helga. It will be the first hit, and I actually show her gameplay, show her in action. She is bonkers good. I actually have a second video highlighting her in Styx Boss, where she's an absolute queen. But for this one, I just want to dive deep into the kit to make sure you are all properly excited for this totally amazing and totally free new legendary hero. First off, I think she looks great. The only issue I have, I think on the wings, and then especially on this like bodice or whatever you'd call this corset thing, the rendering looks off. Like it looks cheap to me. I don't know. Do you guys agree with that? Do you care? Probably not. So let's talk about her actual kit. Helga is an Esotericist Fighter. Pretty unique. The only one I can think of is Yankar. Yankar's kind of a tank in disguise as a fighter. Helga's very much a fighter. She's a crazy multi-range burst DPS with huge quantities of attacks. She puts out a huge number of instances of damage. It is really, really bonkers. And more on that very, very soon. You can see they're calling her multi-strike, burst damage, and control. I think that all makes a lot of sense once you understand her kit. A key thing here is going to be her talent. She is a hero that benefits from specialized attack speed. Essentially, all this means is the amount of attack speed to reduce her attack interval by, let's say, 0.1 seconds or one little margin is less. You need less attack speed to make her go fast. Simple as that. So, if we look at her base stats now, with her 2.6 second base attack interval, the amount of attack speed it would take to bring a normal 2.6 attack interval hero to like 1.3 seconds, you'll be getting your Helga to like 1.9, maybe 1.8. She can be absolutely rapid. When you understand the rest of her kit, especially her ultimate, it'll make perfect sense why this is such a huge benefit to her. Going back to the details once more, let's look at the stats. Extremely high base attack for a magic damage dealing fighter. That is really, really cool to see. You know, aside from like Uridin, we tend to see these magic DPS fighters have a lot lower attack. So 4992, nearly 5000 is pretty cool. The HP is low. The defense is pretty high. The magic res is pretty standard. Like I said, the 2.2 base attack interval, 14 rage regen auto. Lots of really normal things there. Let's get into the basic attack and work our way down. She's going to deal 60% magic damage to one enemy. If the target is not blocked by the hero, additionally, she will gain 20% damage twice. So So that is really cool because now her basic attacks are doing 3 instances of damage. Her whole kit is just a lot of damage happening with a lot of different strikes very, very quickly. And with skill ups, you can see the base of the basic attack damage, that 60% will go up to 80%. So she's going to be a pretty nice 120% as long as she is not blocking the target which she is attacking. The key thing here is it's 3 instances of damage. She's an absolute sticks queen. Anything where you need a large quantity of hits, Helga is the boss. She is the queen. Let's go to the ultimate now. Shadow Blitz. 1100 base rage cost, you can get this down to 1000. Lasting 7 seconds, you can get this up to 10 seconds. Absolutely, if you get her and want to use her, you should max out this skill. So, she will rapidly strike the target with the highest HP in range, dealing 20% damage 4 times. This can go up to 25% damage, and it will occur every X seconds. So they're making us do algebra. What is X? X is equal to 30% of the attack interval, which becomes shorter as the hero's attack speed increases, the way it always does. But basically, X will go proportionally, it will go down as the attack interval goes down. So what do you need to know? She's got the 2.6 second base attack interval very, very easily. Honestly, you can get her a 1.0 second attack interval. Just put an attack speed amulet on her and, focus attack speed in her kit as well as DPS. It will be fine. So let's say you get her to that 1.0 base attack interval. Well, X is going to be 30% of that. So it's going to be that 1.0 times 0.3. So her attack interval will be 0.3 seconds. She'll be attacking faster than 3 times a second, right? So in the 10-second duration, she'll have over 33 hits she puts out. It gets better when, again, it comes to instances of that damage, because each hit, each one of those 33 instances of damage will be a quadruple hitter. All right, you're doing the math now. 132 hits at only a 1.0 second attack interval, which you can achieve pretty easily because of her specialized attack speed. This is nutty. Some people will get her going at like 0.8 seconds. You can already start doing the math. At 0.8 seconds, where X is 0.3, you'd be at a hit every 0.266 seconds. Again, quadruple instances of damage, so it'd be like 44 hits in 10 seconds. Multiply that by 4, you're talking like 176 hits. Lunacy. It is lunacy. She is a goddess for putting out a large amount of hits. Let's go to the passive now. During the ultimate, oh look at that, she's a stun hero too. During the ultimate, every 8 times of damage dealt to the same target, it's going to inflict stun and 100% damage. This goes up to 120% damage. Key thing with this passive Quill Storm is going to be, it only takes 2 hits during the ultimate to have 8 times of damage, or 8 instances of damage, right? Because each one is going to be 4 times, right? So if you had even that 0.3 second thing off of the 1.0 second base attack interval, sorry, there are a lot of numbers going on, every 0.6 seconds, right? Every 2 attacks, aka 8 instances of damage, she will land a stun. So Helga will be a tremendous option if you got an extra melee spot, an extra floor spot for GB2. She will slot right in as a perfect stun hero. Really cool stuff. Final passive, Abyssal Echoes. When there's an ally within 1 tile ahead, so right in front of her or just diagonal to the right, diagonal to the left, she will get 10% of that ally's crit damage. So whatever crit damage is built on that ally, she will get 10% of it. With skill ups, it goes up to 15% of it. I think typically you'll just have a tank in front of her or like another tanky fighter. Let's say on average it's like 200% crit damage. 15% of that would be 30% crit damage. That's a really nice boost. However, you start intentionally building crit damage on that unit if you're hunting for it, either a tank with a bunch of crit damage, or maybe it's like a hybrid kind of unit like a Cyrus or a Reeve. So it means she will pair beautifully with Cyrus as an Esotericist, right? You could have 300% crit damage. Let's use that number. That would be a 45% crit damage increase for Helga. Very nice stuff. Let's take a quick peek at what the ultimate actually looks like. You can barely even see it. She's throwing all these like kind of sword javelin things and they just fly out. And this is like a super slow-mo version. When you get her going, it is an actual blur. Again, go check out the 2 videos I put out on her a couple months ago. Crazy stuff. Now, rapidly, I will take you through the awakenings. Why rapidly? Well, most of you will have her A0. If you don't soulstone her, I don't see people having another way of getting her anytime soon. So A1. Increases damage dealt to the same target, and usually you'll use her in this kind of boss content, right? By 1% with each consecutive hit. It can max out at 15%. It will reset when you switch. Remember, with that ultimate, she is going to key in on the target with the highest HP, so you can take good advantage of that. A2 plus 15% crit damage. The girl's gonna be critting a lot with a bunch of crit damage, ideally. A3 here, when dealing damage, there is a 20% chance to inflict magic res reduction on the target. This is the magic version of a defense break, quite strong, especially for her and other magic DPS. Now the A4, rage regen attack +2. This one is so good because it's the amount of rage she will generate for herself when she does an attack. She attacks all the time. It's each instance of damage. During her base, right, as long as she's not blocking the target, that's already a 3-hitter right there. So there's lots of hits. You want her ulting absolutely a lot. More on that in 1 second when we talk about her artifact. Finally, the A5, during the ultimate, attack interval reduces by 20%. So remember now, if you had built that 1.0 base attack interval, 1.0 second base attack interval, now during the ultimate is a 0.8 base attack interval, and then X is going to equal 0.3 of that. So now that's going to be the 2.66. Crazy stuff, lots of math. Just get her going fast and then watch the flurry of attacks. Not much more to it. Before we go to that calendar and the rest of our guide, I have to show you in the shop right now, for the non-premium currency, not these crazy gold ones, the crystalline fragments as opposed to the flawless crystal, they are selling her exclusive artifact, Raven's Crest, and this is an amazing one for her because she has 1,000 rage costs on the ultimate, because almost everything she does, like the real wackiness of her kit, comes from the ultimate. You want her ulting as much as possible. This artifact will help. Increases single target damage by 15%. When the ultimate activates, restores 12% rage. This is enormous. So whenever you ult, you'll get another 12% rage. As soon as it's over, it will have already kicked in. And because she's putting out usually triple hitters on her basics, she can gain rage very quickly. She is going to be a tremendous hero for very quick self-ult cycling, rage production. This is going to be an absolutely key piece for her. If you're going for the Helga fusion, the Helga shard summoning event, and you intend on using her, snag this. Please get the Raven's Crest. If you want to see actual testing, I can do it, or you can just take my word for it. It is nutty. All right, on to the calendar. Let's not take too much more time. It's very simple if you've seen these before. It is a fully interactive calendar. Basically, we have all the information here. This is the days that every event goes through. You can see it's color coordinated. The summoning events are yellow. All the normal events are green. The Oracle's trials or tournaments are red. I think that part is self-explanatory. If you have any extra questions, let me know in the comments. You can see up for grabs, we have 310. However, like I said, if you heard that 390 number, if you were going to get first place in all of the Oracle's trials and get the podium rewards, you can get up to 390, obviously 10 short. Just go for the one copy. If you follow this guide, me and Maku's guide, follow this calendar, it will be easy peasy. Just get that 200. It's pretty mindless. Let me actually show you how easy it is. So to use it, you have to make a copy. You click File. I also have the instructions down here. If you don't remember and you want to read it, you go to File, you go to Make a Copy. We can say Fasti Helga copy for video. Let's make a copy of that. There you go. And now that you have your own copy, since the version we originally share is viewable only, this one you can edit. So you can, type a special word. If we go over here, now you can actually use these checkboxes, which is what I wanted to actually show you. So let's say you do the spiritual altar, you hit the first milestone, Court of Glory, you hit the max obtained milestone, then here and here, whatever. You can click it through and you just see it starts filling out. The shards on the bottom start populating. You can see now you have 65 total. As you fill it all in, you're working your way up to 200. When you hit 200, this will turn green. As you can see, if you hit a full clearance on an event, it will clear out gray, so you know not to even look at that. So the spiritual altar here, you can hit the first milestone here for only 5 fragments, or if you maxed out, you get the other 10, the 15 total. Look at that, you obtained everything, it grays out. It's a beautiful thing, right? Well, let me show you how beautiful this event actually is, especially if you use our calendar. I already prepared this one. This is the no summoning needed version, and would you look at that? If you do every single one except for these annoying yellow ones, the summoning events, which a lot of you will do, but if you're free to play and you don't want to get stressed out by summoning, you can rest easy knowing even if you don't pull a single summon this entire Helga fusion event, the entire Helga shard summoning, you will get exactly 200. Easy peasy. You can see just by doing the normal stuff, your Quarters of Glory, your Gear Raid tournaments, things like that, your Duel of Heroes, the arena stuff, that is exactly 200. They calculated it very well. But what is this drop down here? Let me actually show you. So you can see in the event shop right now, if I go over here, I can break it down for you. They are selling 4 packages of 5 Helga shards, aka 20 total. So If we go back to the calendar, it is as simple as if you're picking those up on the shop, let's say you got all 20, well, that will be added as well. You may have noticed the number didn't go up. That's because once you've hit 200, you have hit the maximum. There's no difference between 200 and 220 because we do not envision you'll be able to get a second copy. If that changes, we can fix it all with coding from the back end, so don't worry. But what does that enable? Well, I know a lot of people get annoyed by Tales of the Smith when you're very early game. That is the gear leveling event. Well, you can get that first milestone quite easily. It's very cheap. Maybe the second one's hard. So maybe you didn't pick that one up. Oh, and look at that. Whereas the other Tales of the Smith, you didn't pick that one up. Exactly 200, baby. It worked out beautifully. So if you want to go light on those Tale of the Smith events and skip all the summoning, the easiest path, the path of least resistance, you can do no summoning and then only the first milestones on the Tales of the Smith. Or if you wanted max out one Tale of the Smith and completely ignore another, it's all going to be 200, baby. You just got to pick up that event shop stuff. If you just ignore the event shop, if you want to use your currency elsewhere, it's as simple as getting those Tales of the Smith things done. Guys, we made this very, very easy. I really, really hope it helps. Again, huge shout out to Maku for helping us. You'll see we've got all these little things baked in to make it as easy as possible as you use it. Let me make myself very small now while we wrap up so you can really appreciate the calendar in all its glory. You'll see the day lights up red, whatever day we're on. So currently it's June the 27th. It will change as you go, so it's very easy to track. If you want to write your own daily focus notes, like here it could be XP raid because we've got the Court of Glory, you can take notes ahead of time and plan out where you want to assign your energy every single day. We've tried to make it as easy to use, as user-friendly as possible. We really hope you appreciate it. If there's one takeaway from this video, getting Helga is not going to be that hard, especially if you focus in. And also, she's going to be very, very worth it. She's a huge hero, even for super endgame players. She's going to be a Styx queen. For other stuff, she still will shine as well. She's got some GB2 viability. Very exciting hero. I hope you're excited. I know I am. I've been Fastidious, guys. If you like my stuff, like it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Share with your mother, and I'll see you real soon.
Fastidious.